Welcome, everybody, to the Penfield Community Victory Garden committee meeting. Oh, there's Dave. He's bad again. We get to see him. So we have a few things we're going to chat. Let me grab my little list here. How's everyone doing? Okay? Everyone's surviving?
Yep.
All right. So first thing is we have the approvals of our February minutes. Any comments on those first? Any updates, corrections? Nope. Think we're okay.
I will make a motion to approve the February minutes.
Second.
All right, we got a second. So those are good and we can post those and they're up and running. And we have a few things. You guys all received your agenda, right?
Correct.
So our first one, let's see, General Garden Communications News and Updates. Do we have anything? We've got quite a few things that you can see on a lot of our updates are actually in the main minutes.
I don't have anything to add right now. Why don't we go through what we have on the list?
Okay, so right now we have our Compost Sifter project, which I think we mentioned it was completed a couple weeks ago by Sammy Goodwin. Dot and I were there when they were putting together, they did their final put together at the garden and used the shelter, which is really awesome. And this sifter is out back by the compost bin. It's on wheels. It's quite nice and well made. A few things that we might make adjustments to. One of it was when we sift, it might move a little bit. I mentioned it to Sammy and they said it was too cold everything was frozen, so we couldn't test drive it. So any adjustments that have to be made, Sammy and his granddad, who helped him build it, will come. And then Sammy says he owes us a sifting day. So he's going to come and sift for us. His other compost sifter, which is portable and it's stored in the shed right now and locked up, he's going to also demonstrate that. It was just, we wanted to be able to get it in. It was kind of a cold, it'd been beautiful the whole week. And then we had that cold, chilly Sunday. So that's all done. I signed his paperwork. He's pretty thrilled about it. And I think it's going to be a good addition to our garden.
You did a great job on that.
Yeah, it's pretty robust. I hit my head on it. It almost knocked me out. It's not going anywhere. So it's pretty nice. So if you're at the garden, take a peek. It's in the back in the compost bed. And then while Dot and I were there, we did make a plug for any Boy Scout that's looking for some mini projects, like making some extra compost beds and a couple other little things. And the Scout leaders were there. So we're in their ears. So hopefully they'll be coming their way. Let's see. Oh, just as an announcement, we have a garden class this Saturday. Seed starting. I'm doing the seed starting thing. It's from 10 to 12. We still have some room. We have 14 people signed up already. We can go up to 20 in that room with plenty of room to work and keep COVID rules. Everything's being supplied and we have tons of seeds. So people, before you go out and buy seeds, we've got beans and carrots and zinnias and marigolds and radishes, and there's tons of stuff. So even if you don't make the class, before you buy seeds, contact us, because I am trying to whittle down a lot of what I bought at a couple auctions and some stuff that was donated to us from a couple different places, one from the Buffalo Victory Garden and one from Burpees. So before you buy, come see me. And I've got little bags. So like if you don't want a whole bag of beans or peas or whatever, you can separate them. So by all means, keep that in the back of your mind. Let's see what else. Oh, our equipment was collected, Sabrina. I think we already told you. It's collected and probably being winterized as we speak. So that'll be all ready for spring work.
May I ask a question about the equipment? Only because, and this is another topic, but I'm wondering if, Sabrina, you could find out how soon that equipment will be coming back, because now people are asking about the tiller.
So why don't you tell me when you'd like it back, because that's what I'll tell them. Otherwise, they won't, they'll do it
I would
When
say
they-
April 3rd.
Okay, got it.
Because we're probably going to be doing a little work getting ready. And obviously, spring greens can go in pretty early. I think we're going to have an early spring again. I'm just hoping no frost.
So on that same note, would you like the water on then as well? If it's
Yeah,
windy?
that's on our agenda. I don't think the water should go on as early as the 3rd. If you can ask the,
Yeah, they have their rules about when they'll turn it on. So.
right.
Okay.
Usually we go around the 17th or the 24th that weekend.
Okay.
So if you can contact them, that is on our agenda for tonight. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other comments on the things we just covered? All right, public participation. Do we have any publics that would like to participate? No public participation. Okay, we got a couple action items. First, we did the new gardeners orientation. I'm gonna let Dot take that because she was busy already.
So this past week, I did 3 new gardener orientations at the garden. And I was asked about the tiller. Additionally, some of those gardeners had gardens up on like 11A, 12A, and they were asking about some trees that were overhanging and the need for removal of those trees. So that has been acted on, and we do need to finish cleaning that up. And I have 4 scheduled gardener orientations on the 22nd at 6 p.m. That's Monday. And then I have another gardener orientation on the 22nd of April, which I feel like it's kind of late, but that's what they could do at 6 p.m. And then I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I have 2 more to do after that. 2 people who I haven't heard back from. So great news. They're enthusiastic gardeners. They're really excited to be able to join our garden. And I mean, the people that come to orientation, these new gardeners are just like so gung-ho. I love it. So hopefully we'll have a good season with our new gardeners.
Okay, well, thanks, Dot, for taking charge of that activity. I think it's been very effective having these small groups one-on-one and having them right at the garden. So that's really fantastic. We also have solar installation, and I know Dot had spoken with Larry. So why don't you talk on that again?
I got the manuals for Larry. I sent them over to him. I don't know if he's had an opportunity to look at them.
Yep.
In terms of what we need to do. But, we just got the ball rolling at looking at what we have. So I don't know if Larry has anything to add. If he doesn't, there's no pressure, Larry. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't.
Right. I don't think it's going to be too awful, complicated to get anything rolling with it. I guess I did looking at what's included in all the kits by looking at the paperwork. I was wondering if we had a feeling as to how we were going to mount the solar panels. Are we going to build a little frame and just kind of prop them up? Or are they going to go on the side or the roof of the shed or one of the structures? Or, I guess I was just wondering, what we intended to do with that.
My assumption is they would go on the roof of the shed that's inside the garden. Less accessible, the better. So if we put them on the roof and then do whatever we have to for putting in wiring, either down through the sides and then seal it up. But my recommendation is that if we can mount them somehow on the roof.
Yeah. And
it leaves us room to add more if we choose to.
Again, without actually seeing the hardware, a lot of times, you need an air gap on the solar panels. So you can't just kind of like stick them straight down to the roof. They have to go on some kind of structure or framework, which I did not get the impression from the paperwork was included.
But
we need to build a frame, Larry. I'm sure that we can vote on spending money to build that framework. I don't know if we have quorum tonight, but we could probably vote on using some money for that.
Right. I think once we kind of take a look at stuff and as we dig it out, we can kind of find out what we need. And I'm pretty sure pretty much anything we have to purchase will be right at Home Depot, so we can, talk to Sabrina about. I think it's one of these days where we'll spend a day of kind of seeing what we have to do and then order whatever we're missing, and then working on top of that. So obviously, a little warmer day.
Yeah. Sabrina, is there a way that Larry can look at the hardware and then Larry and I or Nancy and Larry or someone who wants to can be there to sort of take a look at the shed and make a decision about that?
Absolutely. They're in the basement of the recreation right now. So, yeah. anytime-
Larry, would it be helpful if you had pictures of them, or do you want to look at the actual physical?
Well, I got a feeling, we're not that far away from actually functioning here. It is starting with spring. So seems like as long as I can get my hands on it, I'm retired. Setting up a time should be no problem.
Okay,
We'll just pick up the hardware and I'll either put it in the shed, lock it up in the shed, or have it at my house until I get a chance to open up the boxes and see what's in it and actually look at it.
So, Sabrina, will it be okay if Larry contacts you about the hardware?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. We'll let you have at it. And if you need help, obviously let us know. And I did speak with a friend of mine, Jim, who's an electrician, who said that he would be willing to, based on whatever, if he can work around his schedule, he would be able to assist as well. If we needed to do some different stuff or different wiring, he'd be willing to, because he was initially going to set up the first one we had, which was smaller. But we have you, Larry, so we're going to take advantage of that. But he did offer to say that if we do need some extra help, he's available for consultation or assistance, but it'd have to be after hours.
Okay.
He's not retired.
And congratulations, Larry. I didn't know you were.
Well, it was kind of sudden. They decided they were having negatively impacted numbers and offered a early package. And when they kind of tell you, here's an extra years of pay, would you like to leave now? It's kind of hard to say no.
Yeah.
Especially if you were planning on retiring within a year anyways.
Good for you.
I'm not 65, so they offered to pay my health care for a year.
Nice.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But I'm still going to have a year and a half on my own to figure out how to pay for it before I hit 65. So
there's options.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it. That's fantastic.
Larry, did it take you more than 5 minutes to adjust to being retired?
Actually, it kind of did. I really was not ready.
Okay.
But having done it now, I'm glad I did.
Good.
Nice.
Gives me a lot more time. I was at the garden almost all day Tuesday. And of course, this will probably come up somewhere further down on our agenda, but I got almost all the bird prevention stuff installed in the pavilion.
Oh, you're awesome.
Nice.
So,
We saw a lot of the half of it that you'd already done. Looked awesome.
Yeah, I got them all done except for 3 of the corners because they were a smaller size.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we've done pretty good. Now we have another action item, the pepper project. And Dave, if you want to, either we can see you hanging upside down or you could just talk to us, but you're going to chat about the pepper project that we've got going.
Well, last week, Carol and I went over to Nancy's place, the garden house, and we planted 70 seeds?
72 or something like that. And then I'm putting in what's left today, this weekend. We spaced them out.
So we'll have probably, if we get 80% of them that grow, somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 pepper plants to farm out to our gardeners to grow those chili hot peppers, and then we can and want to try to see if we can get them all somewhere within the same week, so we don't have to send. What we do is we FedEx the peppers to this company, and so we don't have to do two or three FedExes.
I think that's a great idea. One thing about peppers that I learned from Mr. Bauman is that they like heat. So they're probably going to be one of the last plants we'll put in, but I think we put
Yeah.
in,
What did we
So-
say? We looked at this.
they like to be warm. They have to have some warm weather. So definitely after Memorial Day weekend.
Probably around after that, probably Father's Day, somewhere in that. range.
Yeah. And so I think if I've already offered up to take, 2 or 3 plants. And I think if everyone takes 1 or 2, it goes to a kind of a good opportunity. It's kind of fun. They're pretty buff peppers. They're pretty hot. I was looking
Yeah.
at it's like, wow. they're pretty
Maybe they'll-
high Caspian levels.
Maybe they'll keep the critters away.
That would be nice. So they haven't popped up yet, Dave, but I have them on a heat mat. Well, actually, I have radiant flooring in one of my rooms, so they're on the radiant flooring. And they seem happy. They're nice and steamy, so I think they're percolating in there. And then we had a few left over. We had about 100 seeds in the pack, and then I'm
Yeah.
going to plant those now. And put them in a different spot just as a safety measure, having them in 2 different places at 2 different start times just kind of buffers the seed starting issues that may happen.
So they should be pretty good size by the middle, first or second week in June. So
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're going to be pretty large. And I'm building a bunch of cold frames on my property. So once they get big enough and it gets warm enough, I'll move them into the cold frames. So they'll be hardened off and hopefully pretty thick stemmed by the
Yeah.
time we pass them out to everybody.
okay.
So I think they'll be pretty good. I think it'll be a fun little project. Thanks, Dave, for finding it.
Well, they found out.
Oh, they found out. Oh, they found, cool. Well, thank you for being the contact.
Yeah, I need to contact them and just confirm with them that we're in and we're starting to grow. And I still have to make the arrangements for the FedEx.
Okay, terrific. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And we'll probably do, maybe once we get them all planted, we could do a little info night or something at the garden about what the project's all about for the rest of the gardeners that don't necessarily see this as we spread it out and pass it out. So we'll keep that in kind of the back of our
Yeah.
minds about something in early June or end of May to kind of introduce this project. And I'll let you take the lead on it, but we'll make some arrangements on it.
Okay.
Can we get a food truck to come with jalapeno poppers for our information night?
It could be fun.
That'd be fun.
It would be fun. Okay, so let's see. We have informational items. Sabrina, you're on with the financials and bid registration and budget.
Okay, so we continue to have full registration and the wait list is growing. I think I want to say 8 to 9 on the wait list now.
Wow.
So your income so far from bed rentals, I don't anticipate it going up or down, is $3,280. Before everyone joined, I did say that the financial report I sent earlier today was a little bit off. I had actually forgotten to add a couple of folks. So the true number is $3,280. And that about covers it.
Terrific. And we haven't spent anything yet.
Nope.
Okay. We probably will because we just learned that we might need some things for solar. But we have the money to take care of it. So that would be really terrific. We have a couple of projects in process. The first one is our pasta dinner for members only event on April 15th. And I'll let Dot chat about it. I'm going to be cooking the pasta, but she gets to chat about it.
We're going to give a pasta meal out to members in place of our spring potluck dinner. And we'll be able to buy some meatballs and things like that because we have money. Because we're not using this as a fundraiser, and it wouldn't be appropriate to use it as a fundraiser because we don't really have an onboard project right now. We are going to also give a little informational packet to our members and a little, gift baggie to our members, kind of like you get at the Grammys, but a little bit more low key.
Piece of tape and a lollipop. No.
Yeah. But the idea is to at least somehow try to build community in light of the fact that we can't have our regular dinner. Typically, we do have meeting at that dinner where the committee stands up. The chair and the vice chair say things, other people say things. So we'll put a little information packet together. Maybe we should mention the pepper project in that information packet. I think that would be great.
Yep.
And we can also mention some of the
Solar.
Boy Scout projects, the solar project, just to get people aware. And I think they'll come in for the free food. I mean, who doesn't show up for free food? And get this little gift baggie to go home with as a way to say, hey, welcome to the garden. And that will be on April 15th in lieu of our committee meeting. So we'll be using the kitchen in Penfield Recreation.
And we will be looking for assistance. I'm probably going to arrive early. And as I did before, I'll cook up all the pasta. We'll just put it in the cooler.
It'll be a little less hectic because the number will be a lot smaller and we don't have to worry about setup and takedown. Sabrina, my question is, would people be coming through the front door of the library into that multipurpose room to pick up their meal or to the loading dock?
So it can be done either way. It would be easier probably to deliver it to them at their car,
In the car.
at the loading dock.
So we'll have it as a drive-through at the car of the loading dock. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to know. So the only thing that I will do is I will make a save the date, send it out, and then we'll send out an official invitation to all of our members. And we'll tell them it's for them and their families. I don't want to put a limit on families. I don't really think people are going to be like telling their friends and bringing 15 people to get free pasta, but you know, what are you going to do?
Do we want to have a tentative RSVP? I mean, we can handle overload.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to have an RSVP on it so that we have an idea of how many people would show up for that.
Because I don't want to cook like 10 pans and have to deliver 5 somewhere else, which they'd probably be thrilled with, but
it's hard to find places that will take already cooked food.
Yeah.
So, yes, I will have an RSVP on that and I will take care of that this week because it's about a month out. We want to make sure we give people lots of time to think about it.
all right, terrific. I think it's going to be fun. We've come up with some neat ideas. So I think it's, in spite of the fact that it's different than what we normally do, COVID has forced us to be creative and we've come up with some fun things. So I think you'll enjoy the package. Next one is the plant sale planning date, which I'll chat on. We are going to have a plant sale this year. It doesn't generate as much, but you know, there's always little things that we can utilize. And because we missed it last year, we want to keep it going because it has been a benefit. The date we've chosen is the 22nd of May. We've made this for 2 reasons. The Rotary, which has been incredibly generous to our garden, and we're already considering asking for a few other things, is also having a chicken barbecue that same weekend, thanks to Sabrina, in the rec parking lot. So they're having it at the recreation parking lot from 3 to 6 or right around there. We got to get the exact date, exact time. The Rotary is going to have a chicken barbecue dinner. And we thought we'd have our seed plant sale at the same time. We're going to start a little early. We'll end a little early, but we're going to have our plant sale at the same time. We're going to advertise it. They're going to advertise for us. We're going to advertise for them. And I think it's will be kind of a win-win. I've already started a ton of plants for 6-packs, but I've also spoken with our local supporter of our garden, Mr. Bauman, and we can handle some of the vegetable plants as he's done in the past for us.
What was the date again?
It will be May 22nd. But we'll have all kinds of plant, 6-packs or 4-packs of plants, 4 and 6-packs, depending on how they come. There will be individual plants as well. We've always had the opportunity where you could literally take, 2 tomatoes, 2 peppers, and a green squash and a yellow squash, and that would be a 6-pack. So you'll still have that ability, or you can buy an entire 6-pack. So we'll offer that. I'll also have a bunch of annual plants and stuff as well. And as always, I give a percentage to the garden as a thanks for letting me be there. I will be providing as much of the herbs as I've done in the past to sell as well. And the profits I get all the plants and then the profits go to the garden as well. So we'll continue to do that. So it is May 22nd, but we're going to do it in the afternoon. The Rotary is going to be there with a chicken barbecue, which is going to be a quarter chicken, so like a leg and a thigh, mac and cheese and beans, and it's going to be from Good Smoke with a cornbread. I think it's like $15, and I think that I'm not sure what they're raising the money for, but there's a couple projects that they're working on that will be applied to that. And of course, we have a list of things we're going to ask for. So, we're going to keep asking them. They've been very generous to support us, and they really like being at the garden and helping out with the garden. So we thought it was a kind of a win-win opportunity. Questions? Any questions on that? All right. Well, we have the fence completion, which I'll hand over to Dot because she's been the fence lady lately.
There's 2 sections of fence that still need to be completed from the work that we did last year. I imagine that I will try to shoot out a sign up genius to people again to see if some folks want to help out with that. But I'll make sure that I leave that and those things get done before the woodchucks get out of hibernation and start getting too happy.
Saw one yesterday.
Because after we got most of the fence repaired, we definitely did not have the woodchuck issue that we had early in the season. And I don't want the little baby woodchucks to get too enthusiastic about coming in. We'll keep them out. Nancy, I forgot, and I don't know where I want to put this. Maybe I'll put this in new business when I'm done. I'll stop talking. Okay, fence completion. Go ahead.
Okay, so for operations, we have the water system, which we did bring up earlier about you're going to find out when the best time to start. We'll default to whatever the water works decides is the best time for us to open up. And so if you can just let us know, but when it's warm and it's ready, tell them to hook us up because we're going to hopefully get everything set up so that we can get rolling. So we can do that. Thank you. We have a bunch of held business. Yeah, the hardware cloth is in the shed is just about done. Thank you, Larry. We still have the gutters, which we have the gutters. They're just in the back, and we have rain barrels, which when the weather gets better, we'll work on that. We have moving the shed. Someone who's working on moving the shed.
I was talking to one of the Boy Scouts about it. We are still chatting about it because he's working on the ramp right now. So
okay,
it's out there.
There was some leftover hardware cloth from the project for the pavilion. So that's up front in a little, partial shed if you need it elsewhere.
We could put it under the shed, the little shed when we move it, so the woodchucks can't live under it.
Yeah, that'd be good because that's where they're living right now. Of the many places, yes, they're also in that big pile of rocks. Okay, so we've got that done. What's this? The ribbon cutting. We don't have a date yet, but as we're coming closer, I think probably my assumption is the end of June, early part of July would be a great time. I think as we progress getting opened up and stuff.
I think after July 4th. I think early part of July might be too early. I think later. I don't know what the town's plans are for July 4th, but I'm hoping we'll be up to date on whatever that is. We don't have to talk about it now.
Just keep it in the back of our heads that it'll be sometime in the month of July. Bat house and owl nesting box. Yeah, we'll still wait on that. We'll get a little going. We've still got to get the logs. I know that Ben is willing to bring us a couple long logs from their property. They have a property in Canisius, and they said they'd
yeah, we just have to be able to put them in the ground.
Yeah,
we'll just try to put something in the ground. We need to buy a hydraulic driller.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's we'll figure out an option. There is an option. There's a lot of trees out there. We just put them in the tree, clean up one of the trees and put them there.
Well, I think the maintenance department of Penfield has one of those drills.
Does it?
I believe so.
Well, maybe we can talk to the people who are digging up the road. They just ask them to come down for 5 minutes and put a little hole in
Yeah.
for us.
Right.
You know, they have to put those power lines up. So
Yeah.
the telephone poles
Yeah, all we need is a cherry picker for 25 minutes.
or a really tall basketball player, one or the other. Okay, so I think we have some stuff. Dot, you said you had one more thing to add?
I did want to mention one thing, and I don't know if I mentioned it at the last meeting, but this year at the community garden for my children's garden program, I'm running a children's garden program, and I'm running an inclusive garden club that's geared towards children who have more sensory issues, maybe children on the autism spectrum. I wanted to kind of branch out and bring in some of those kids that may typically their families might be more hesitant about putting them in a program because it, you know, my program is kind of, it's more unstructured than other programs, but I think that that it was a need in our Penfield Rec brochure. So I wanted to give it a shot this year. So one thing you will know is that at least one day a week, starting in the spring, I'll be out there and I may be with students who have special needs. We've had adults, disabled adults and adults with special needs, as well as children with special needs in the garden before. It's never been a problem. But I like to make sure that the community knows that that's going on because I think it's an important connection to our community to be open there for everyone.
I agree. And I think it's a great opportunity. And, you know, give everyone a little opportunity a chance to come and see our amazing little place that we have.
I've got something just to bring up.
Okay. Dave?
Future Boy Scout project. I guess this is the second or third year that we've been sold out. We should consider about opening up the back a little bit so that we could get maybe another 10 beds. So we could break that up into at least two different projects. One we'd have to take fencing down and prepare the ground, and then another one for 10 raised beds.
Yeah, we can kind of measure that. We have that.
Something I was considering actually along these lines is, and I haven't looked into this at all, I don't know if it's even possible, but maybe you want to look at a different location.
I know that the town had come forward before, had asked both Dot and I about setting up a secondary site at the Shadow Pines. And I think we're willing. I don't know if we could manage it as it is. A lot of us spend a lot of time at the garden. I think it's something that maybe another site could be established with another working crew like our own. But Dot and I, and I'm pretty sure anyone else on this committee would be both willing to provide any assistance. I mean, we've helped a number of places in Webster, we've helped them get their places set up and show them what to do and how to do it and where to go.
I would hesitate to make this current site bigger is my only concern.
Because
because right now it's a lot to manage and you don't have the help. It's a very small crew doing it.
Yeah,
So
well,
I think what Nancy,
that would be my thing for expanding it to the second. We don't have people down our to be on committee.
So it would be, like Nancy said, it would be a different group responsible for it.
And we would just consult and help them get started, but we would not be responsible for it. We'd been asked a couple of times, and you know, with what we already do with our group, I don't think we could handle a second group. And I think our garden is pretty good size. I mean, I think maybe we could add another.
To what else is out there around surrounding towns. Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, our biggest thing is to make sure that it's still manageable, because if we get too big, it's going to get harder. And I think we've gotten to be pretty efficient. However, I have no problem. Let's all walk out there, you know, get a bunch of us together and space out. Maybe we can put in another set of one more row or another 2 rows We have to keep in mind that we have to leave room for the mower, and the fact that we now have a food force back there with, we have the shed, and we also are planning to put 2 other food forces back there, one behind it, but we're spacing them a year or so apart to make sure that each one is established and running. And as I mentioned before, Dot and I were out there, and everybody looks really happy. There's lots of living green buds and everything ready to go. I mean, obviously nothing's open yet, but that planting that we did, that garden back there, which is pretty significantly, it's a good size. It's 55 by 22, 55 feet by 22 feet. It's pretty big. And there's a lot of stuff in there. When you guys start seeing what comes up, I mean, there's about 20 or 30 different kinds of different herb plants of about 4 or 5 of each. There's 2 or 3 different kinds of raspberries. There's blackberries. There's 2 different kinds of grapes. There's peach trees in there. There's currants. There's gooseberries. There's, I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff. I donated a lot from my nursery. So there's a lot of stuff in there. And, you know, that's going to be another option for people to be able to benefit from. Yes, everyone's going to have samplings of stuff, but it's a pretty neat project for people to kind of learn how to run. But we can check it, I think. I'm agree, Dave, we can take a look, but I caution getting too big, mainly because what you see in this meeting is the primary workers, with a few exceptions of a couple other people that came in. It's mostly us. And, you know, I just want to just be cautious. But we can take a look, because we do sell out, and it's,
It's good that we sell out and demand is high. It really is. And as long as we're selling out and demanding is high, then the people who want to remain a part of it would step up and be active with us. Yeah.
So, but let's plan to at least take a walk and see what kind of measurements we have and what options we have. But I think one of the options you may want to mention is, if there is a group that's willing and wants to start one in another location, I think anyone in this garden committee would be willing to help them get started and help them get on the right track, but they'll have to run themselves. Because unless, of course, you make it a full-time job, and then either Dot and I will apply for it or anyone else, Chris. But until that happens.
You want to pay me? I'll do it.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Any old business? Anything new? So I just want to remind everybody, on Saturday, is a little seed starting. Even if you don't want to come to the seed starting part of it, stop in around noon. There are tons of seeds. Yes, you'll be seeing some of those seeds in your gift packs, but there's tons and tons and tons of seeds. Come and scoot by and grab enough to put in beans or peas or carrots or whatever. There's Dave.
Dave is upside down.
I think he needs to wear like a bat hat or something.
He's the Batman.
You can't close the meeting until at least I can show myself.
Yes, you have to come in so we can see you.
Hold up your hands.
So I guess we're all done. Any other questions? All right. Well, hopefully we'll see a bunch of you guys on Saturday. Feel free to stop in around noon if you want to grab some seeds. As I mentioned, I've got about 300 packs. So come on over. And what do we have to do? Oh, we have to stay after class. Any other questions? All right, so I'm adjourning the meeting. Dot and I got in trouble, so we have to be reprimanded. No, not really. So we're staying on, but I thank you all for coming, and put on your calendars and watch out for our pasta takeout and seed sharing. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I don't just see him upside down.